So
But we've lost.
yeah, he has surfed everywhere, and he was always looking for like the proverbial
Perfect wave.
perfect wave.
Yeah.
Thinks he found it in Fanning.
Really? The
No,
perfect
yeah.
way.
I got the fanning and I said, this is it. This is where I put my
This is
hat
the epitome of surf. Wow, Greg, look at that. It's neat, huh?
Yeah, but I tell you what, did it take? Let me check my thumb on it. See, I can't hold it and do all of it at the same time. Oh, shit.
Greg,
I'm hopeless at this shit. Here, you do the photography and I'll hold your damn camera.
no way!
I get
What?
to go.
What?
Man in the mountains.
That's hilarious!
Back in Washington.
I just found Raphael here in middle of Hawaii. Hi there, buddy. What's up? No freaking way! I stayed at this guy's house like
2 weeks ago. Yeah?
2 weeks ago in Seattle. Hi there, Raph.
Hey sir, how's it going? So freaking cool.
Good morning, Raphael. Our friend went and camped out on that island over there. Hey, man.
But it is.
Woo! Yeah, that's hilarious.
I was like, there's only one person holding that camera.
That's it.
This is my Graga.
I'm his grandmother,
Raphael.
Doreen. Pleased to
Nice
meet
to
you.
meet
And your
you.
name is?
Raphael?
Raphael?
Yeah.
And this is a good friend of ours, Denise.
Boom, 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 boom. Well, I'm stoked that I just randomly ran into Raphael. That was not planned whatsoever. Life's great. This place just really came alive at nighttime. It's like everyone just kind of started crawling out of the woodworks and the sewers and it's crazy, right, Denise?
That's right. The beaches are empty.
Well, this is the end of our vacation and the beginning of my adventure. I have a Uber coming to pick me up and taking me to my next hotel, and I'm gonna leave these two fellers behind. It's been a wonderful time, Grandma and Colin. Yeah. Tomorrow I'm heading 1,000 miles south to the South Pacific to a remote little island called Fanning Island. It's gonna be a journey, and I'm gonna share that with you through my own personal experience. And I love you guys very much.
Love you too.
It's been wonderful, and
Yes, it has been.
see you later, Colin.
Take care.
Mwah.
You just take
Love
care
you.
of yourself.
I will.
Okay?
I will. You guys have an awesome rest of your
I
trip.
will.
Yeah.
And,
It's been great.
Take care. It's been
Will
good.
do.
Yeah, it's been good.
All right.
It's been good being with you.
Let's do this.
do this.
Zoom! Love you, Grandma.
You take care.
I'll see you later. Will do.
Promise me
care.
you'll
See you
stay
later.
safe.
See you later.
I will. You guys too.
Okay,
Ta-ra.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Aw, that's so cute. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you as well. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, hello,
Are you
good
alive?
sir. I am. Very nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Welcome to Honolulu.
Oh, yeah, no, you welcome to Honolulu. I've been here for a little while.
Well, all right.
Well, I got my bed all made and ready. We've just begun the journey, and Tim's already making me sleep on the ground.
No,
Yeah,
I'm getting you used to what you're going to have to do. I'm just getting you used to it, buddy.
This is how the artists are treated on this trip, apparently. Already sleeping on the frickin' floor. He gave me a little a sack to sleep on, so that way I don't get eaten alive by the bugs.
I'd like to point out I'm not charging you for it.
Oh, how kind!
No, you're getting that for free, so stop your bitching. Stop your belly aching.
Hey, I'm sure the lady at McDonald's would at least let me sleep on a sack of potatoes.
You might. You're interrupting. I'm reading The Man from Moscow.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So, this afternoon, Tim's gonna introduce me to a character, apparently. His name's Chuck, and apparently he's renouncing his United States citizenship, and he's gonna go live on Fanning Island. So, sounds like my kind of guy. I'm looking forward to getting to know him and get him on film.
Chuck Corbett. He's a piece of work. And, yeah, you're going to find him pretty interesting. The problem is, putting Chuck in a film is he stutters. And it's going to take up a whole lot of your film in order to get a sentence out of him.
So, right now, we've been waiting in the lobby for the past, about an hour and a half, so something like that, for this character named Chuck. And Tim's been telling me a lot about him. Sounds like a real interesting guy. Right now, he's figuring out whether he's going to be able to make it to Fanning. He's just leaving everything behind and moving there. And he doesn't have a passport, though, so we don't know if he's going to make it out for sure. But he should be here any minute, and I'm going to set up a little interview and have a good chat with him and kind of get to know him as a person. And so it's going to be interesting, and I'm really looking forward to it. Anything
That's
to say?
Chuck Corbett. No, and Chuck's a man without a country. He doesn't have. He's given up his U.S. citizenship, and he does not have. And we're heading to Fanning, which is in the nation of Kiribati, and Chuck does not have a Kiribati passport, so he has no passport. And here he is in Honolulu, trying to charm his way into this country. And when you meet him, here he comes. When you meet him, you're going to wonder if he could charm his way into anything. Here we go.
Well, hello.
Chuck.
Sorry, you're on camera right away. My name's Cameron.
fine.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This is Chuck,
Hi.
and yeah, this is gonna be good.
We've come to a fork in the road where
And now we have to take it.
if I don't meet the minister eye to eye and say, hey, we have to catch this sustainable resource so that it's going to go on, make us, you have to say now, it'll make us, you guys, wealthy now, but it can be passed on at the
Sustainable wealth.
Yeah. Pass down.
And so, here's another issue. My intelligence says, so we now have a competitor. His name is Boogie D.
This is a new one to me.
He's sending down bits of wood from collecting used pieces to make some shacks up at Whalers, but he doesn't know how entrenched Coral Sun is, and he's on several spots on the internet where he's offering half price
On Fanning.
at $2,500. So he's cut the resource value in half because he wants in there also.
So everybody does.
Yeah.
I know.
Let me pause you just a minute, because I know these are things that you're passionate about and they're central to your thinking
Take
at
control.
the moment. But for this purpose of this
Yep.
half hour that we might have right
Thank you.
here, what I'd like to do is to reflect back on that time on your boat sailing between Christmas and Fanning, and you talked about your life in Fanning and in California. And it was such an interesting story that Kurt Miller of Warren Miller Ski Films and Peter Speak of Warren Miller and remember Doc Rambo from Tasmania was with us on that trip, and we talked about how you have a story that's almost universally interesting, of universal interest. To many people would love to hear it, not just surfers, but just people with an idea about dreaming a little or doing something outside the box.
And you guys were on that boat together going to Fanning for the first time?
The name of that boat was Tabuaeran.
Tuaroy.
Yeah,
Tabuaeran?
I heard that was an experience. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard some stories about that one.
Yeah, that was what year? about 2008 or
2007 or 8. It was 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Was that your first time
so
going?
10 years ago.
Going to Fanning?
No.
No? You've been there before? Okay.
The boat started in 2004.
Okay.
I was on Christmas and I saw this boat parked.
Yeah.
You never see a sailboat. I see this boat way out there,
Yeah.
and I'm on a pier, and it looks like excuse me,
Yeah,
it looked
go
like
ahead.
a Chinese junk.
Yep.
Right? There was laundry hanging everywhere, and the sails were, half down and being cleaned.
Yeah.
And it was like a liveaboard boat.
Yeah.
Because it was
Yep.
a blue water cruiser.
Yeah.
And I stood on the pier, and for maybe 15 minutes, just waved my arms. I went, hello, hello.
Yeah.
And pretty soon, this voice comes back, hello yourself. And then the voice says, you want to come aboard?
Really?
And I go, yeah.
That was the
So-
first time you guys met?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
No
this
way.
dinghy, I hear this really rough running engine, and this little dinghy comes up to the pier, and it's about a mile down from the pier top to the
Yeah.
boat, and it's Chuck. And he goes, come on, we'll take you out. So I crawled down this ladder and got into the dinghy, and I didn't know if I was going to be shanghaied. I think
Yeah.
that would be the right word, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was
Shanghai.
going to impress me into his service, and we were going to go
Yeah.
off somewhere. And
Head
we get
off
out to the
into
boat, and it's every bit as busy
Yeah.
as it looked like from shore, and there were two lovely women on board
Really?
also. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So sure enough, you and the women all got shanghaied off to Fanning? Is that how this kind of
Well,
works?
no. So in that meeting, I said I would love to charter your boat,
Yeah.
and Chuck said I'm available. I could do the charter. And
Yeah.
one thing led to another. I went back to the States and put together a group, and we checked you out from one end to the other. Remember, I called your mom and dad and everything, and we had insurance issues and
Yeah.
all this stuff, and we got it all worked out. And what was it? Probably a year later, or not even a year, but about a year later.
About that.
Our party of 4 comes back, and Chuck's there waiting for us in Christmas Island, and we go aboard and head off on this crazy adventure to an island I'd never heard of before.
Sounds like a crazy adventure. And so you've surfed all around the world, right?
No. I
Working
started
on
off in California.
Okay.
California, the summer of 10th grade, I took
Yeah.
off for Hawaii for 2 weeks.
Okay.
I got over there and begged to stay. And at the end of summer, I promised to get a GED
Yeah.
and surfed my guts out for 4 years.
That's awesome.
And
That's really cool.
in
Learned a thing or two.
1978, the opportunity arose to build a church on Guam, and I went there as a volunteer. But I really went there because I had found out there was surf there.
Yeah.
But that was a working trip. And
Yeah.
it worked out wonderful.
Yeah.
And
And you are a religious man, basically.
I'm militant atheist, but when and I'm
Militant
so
atheist?
happy you
Okay.
haven't unfriended me on Facebook because
love it.
because I've been in this cubicle, and I don't have a social life. I'm
Yeah.
happy being on the computer and with my mom and my dad for the last years. So
I distracted you.
go ahead, it's fine.
But
we've lost.
yeah, he has surfed everywhere, and he was always looking for like the proverbial
Perfect wave.
perfect wave.
Yeah.
Thinks he found it in Fanning.
Really? The
No,
perfect
yeah.
way.
I got the Fanning and I said, this is it. This is where I put my
This is
hat down.
the epitome of surf.
Yeah, no, see, all of Kiribati is beautiful.
Yeah.
All the people, there's a lot of paradisical places.
Yeah.
But the waves are special on Fanning and the whole world of atolls.
Really? And is it a pretty constant break then, or is it a?
The summer is now. It's I'll try to look at the surfboard this evening,
Okay.
and we basically share the same surf seasons as Hawaii
Okay.
for the northern and winter surf,
Okay.
and we have 4 waves, and these have over here is a few dozen, but all 4 of our waves are every bit as good as any wave here on Oahu.
Yeah.
Back to the boat in 2008.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry for.
Tabuaeran. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah. So.
Tabuaeran.
So
Tabuaeran.
go ahead. So Tabuaeran was chosen by Talmoa, who was a weatherman, and him and Tim Weiss and others got together to find a name other than Fanning Island Trader. And so Tabuaeran means to share, to share the wealth, to spread the wealth. It's a name that when people hear it, they smile. And they chose it.
And describe the boat, its length and...
It's a 60-foot motor sailor.
Okay.
It had berths for 12. We had a couple of small fishing boats. And it was large enough so we could carry them both.
Okay.
So yeah, when we got to the boat on the second trip, on the boat was a flats boat, which is a hard-shelled boat that would take us off for fly fishing. There was a rubber dinghy. There was a motorcycle.
Yep.
There was, or a motorbike to get around the island.
Yeah.
And there was 50-gallon drums, were they, on the back, full of fuel right next to the barbecue pit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a homemade reverse osmosis water maker.
Yeah.
Which was a water pressure motor that was running reverse, was pushing water, I guess, through a complicated set of tubes.
It's a ceramic membrane.
Okay.
It looks it's as ceramic as that is.
Really?
And at 800 pounds pressure, water begins to flow through it.
The salt stays behind?
The bacteria, viruses stay behind. It's very...
Everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pure water.
That's incredible.
You could piss on it and drink it on the other side.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
We did, in fact.
Well, that's great to know.
It's one of the things that it was so nice to give somebody, they come on board and give them a glass of water, and you know they're not going to get sick.
Yeah, that's really
Pretty
nice.
sure.
That's awesome. And so you're fascinated with hydroponics and kind of the whole sustainable living and permaculture and...
Absolutely.
Yeah. See,
Yep.
that's where I'm really developing a passion for as well, and I think that's a kind of a fundamental aspect of coming over here and kind of just this small island that's becoming self-sustainable and self-dependent. I think is it's beautiful, and especially kind of the conundrum we're experiencing in the world today. You can transfer a smaller model, such as what we're gonna be kind of experiencing on Fanning Island, into a more globalized scale. And so I think smaller scale things like Fanning are gonna be a good start to kind of a more efficient and more sustainable world in the future.
Yeah, well, that's the I never thought of the next step. I'm pretty surprised. So, but my step was Washington Island is a beneficiary of it. And other islands can take advantage of it. So Chuck, but we've gone off 2008.
In 2008 we went there, and I always said I would go back. And
Absolutely.
to do that, we have maintained a friendship or a correspondence with one another.
Yep.
And you've
That's
been through
awesome.
thick and thin since then, and lots has happened to you. And next time you appear in my life, you're in Reno, Nevada.
Yep.
Which is just as remote to me as Fanning Island sometimes, but
Crazy.
and this opportunity comes up to do this project, and that was because you and I were talking. We brought the guys from the fly shop into it, and then you had the guys from the surfing lodge. Why can't I say it? Sorry, Juliet, I can't remember it. Pegasus, thank you. And I know. Well, I'm getting along in yours. And we'll see you drop a thing or two. We'll see how that goes, old gray guy. So anyway, this project gets sort of birthed. I start to write about it, and the response to the writing is in the journal is huge. We're getting letters and calls, and so the fly shop says they'd like to come out and meet Chuck, and we set up a meeting in Reno, and that kind of got this thing going.
Okay.
And it's a hybrid of what you were thinking of originally, and it's a hybrid of what I was thinking of. And I think it's a really neat model, and it's actually starting to to accelerate. And we're talking about one in Patagonia now, which is river rafting and fly fishing. And so today, this is the night before we leave for this trip, and you go back for the first time in how long, Chuck? Since you've been there?
I hate saying it. It's 8 years.
Is it that long?
8
It's
years.
terrible. It's terrible.
It is.
But it's an act of love,
Yeah.
and I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
But it was like so much of
All good things.
the third part of my life, and,
Yeah.
but you got less than
Oh,
me.
that'll make it even better now that you're going back.
Right.
Such a
It's probably why I'm so nuts right now.
fair enough. Yeah.
So
Excited.
if you are able to get on that plane tomorrow, you're sweet talk your way on with your documents. If you can do that, the thing is, we will have a week of being able to tell your story in pieces and make some introductions to island people,
Yeah.
to meet some critical people. And we'll count on you to introduce them to the fact that there'll be a camera at work while we're
Yeah.
there and, you know, kind of break the ice for us so that people are comfortable with that.
Right.
Excuse me.
The people are going to be intensely they get suspicious.
Yeah.
What is?
Yeah.
Like Brad, Captain Brad of the
Yeah.
Kauai, wonderful person. He's saying, Chuck, just go straight. Remember, I told you I said I was going to go to the east side, and I meet Captain Brad, and he says, Chuck, just go the other way, go to your land, and just stay there. Keep your mouth shut. You know, put your head down.
Okay.
And he said, you'll do fine. Start off from there.
Just go, yeah.
You know, be humble.
Yeah.
But so between now and Christmas, we have to come up with a storyline how this working together.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm fanning. I'm just with agriculture and stuff.
Okay.
But that's just. I'm retired and I'm returning. I'm retired. Look, I got this big long
Yeah, there you
beard.
go.
I have my
Actually,
cane.
you've trimmed.
Yeah.
You've been trimmed.
I brushed a little.
Or you shaved or something.
Not yet.
Gonna cruise through the rest of life in paradise. That's the way to do it. Yeah.
So, the plan here then is that tomorrow you'll be at the airport trying to get on board. It's no longer Pacific Air, you know that, don't you? It's Fiji Air.
It's Fiji Airways.
Yeah, Fiji Airways.
Right.
Okay, so it's not Pacific like it used to be.
Are you pre-booked?
Yeah.
You are pre-booked.
Mhm.
Okay.
I got tickets.
So I also was not pre-booked, which is a little red flag.
Did you try?
Yeah. And it said the red flag is it says pick up your booking at the desk. It's no big thing.
Well, you've weaved your way through some thin ice already. Well, I'm really surprised to see you. I did not think I'd see you here. I thought you wouldn't get out of Reno.
No, I worked though.
No?
Yeah, it worked. It just,
No, I know. I'm just saying those were a lot of barriers as you're this far. And,
It
Yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah, you made it this far.
Beyond crazy.
Oh,
Well, you shared with me some of the correspondence. It was like
Yeah.
Today
bizarre.
a crazy day with Juliet calling at the last minute.
Yeah.
And she's on her way to Indonesia.
Yeah, so it was just straight, hey, can you get these things? So fishing lures and some belts for a generator and belts for a generator.
Her dad is going, right? He'll be over there.
Yeah, it may
Alex.
have come up from him.
Yeah, because he's a
So-
casting. He doesn't fly fish.
So Pegasus, this operation is Coruscant. They're actually he needs to register with the government, his company.
Coral Sun?
Well, he has
Pegasus.
Coruscant Airways. He needs to register as Coruscant Resorts.
Oh,
It's and how it fits in with with that part of government. But that's what he needs to do, and he hasn't done it for a few weeks because
you're talking about Ryder or
no, this is Jeff.
Jeff? Okay,
So
Jeff
the
Jones.
operation on Fanning is
Yeah.
local.
Okay.
It is not Pegasus. Pegasus does not have
Yeah.
their application is going through,
They're
But-
working on it.
but they do not have, and so they cannot work. This big kerfuffle is because they all ran up there.
Yeah.
And the confusion.
Yeah.
Oh, kerfuffle's a good
Yeah, I was
word.
gonna say the same thing. I was like, I really like how you used that.
Well, another way to describe it, if you're a Kamaina here in Hawaii, you're a local.
Yeah.
Some of the white haole tourists, they just stand out,
Yeah.
and they're just not going to fit in, and the way they interact with the local community around them, they just stand out.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward. And
so that's how Pegasus people have been described.
Is that right? Is that right?
oh, that's hilarious.
And I'm going, but the whole idea from the beginning was there should be no interaction with them. They provide the expertise, as to what we're doing. They provide some sort of management, but it's Coral Sun Airways that are paying it.
Okay.
They're like,
That's Jeff Chung,
yeah,
who's a Kitty boss.
yeah, they're Coral Sun's marketing agent, exclusive booking.
Okay.
Don't have to even use the word exclusive. It's marketing agent booking.
Okay.
Jeff has charters to
All over.
All over. Yeah, you want to go to Canton. Canton's got like 4 trips lined up the road right now for fishing, and it's mental.
Yeah.
It's the most mental place you can go to right now.
I don't know.
Put 5 guys on the point, and you can get all 5 hook up with 50-pound lure.
Yeah.
And you're just
Well, you're promoting Canton and Washington and all these other exotic places, and I'm still trying to get my arms around Fanning, my head around Fanning.
it's a
Fanning
race
is-
right now to save it.
Yeah,
That's
there's
exactly
a lot
what
of
it is.
politics going into it, and I'm still learning the whole
yeah.
what's going on there.
There's a tremendous amount of politics.
Yeah,
But when we use that word, that's not a bad word.
yeah,
It's just the way things work. It's the culture. It's the culture,
cultural
and
approach.
it's how you fit in
Mhm.
with, or not you. It's how that person fits in with the culture.
Yeah,
And a seasoned traveler, and even some that are just intuitive, they fit in,
yeah,
and the other ones at present don't.
All right. Well, listen. It is. I'm going to go look for Bill. See if
Okay.
Bill has arrived. So I can step away if you want to just continue to talk
yeah.
to
we'll
Chuck.
have a whole-
So
Yeah, so I'm kind of new to this myself, and the approach I'm going to go for is essentially I'm going to go to this island, and I really want to document just kind of the experience of going there and allowing the story to unfold as kind of the trip goes on, and we kind of experience this adventure, and I want to document it as and what I want to ask you is if there's a story to be told here. If there's a story that you'd like to be told, what would that be in terms of going to this island? And is there anything in particular that you think that would be just incredibly fascinating, or that you're really passionate about, or if you want the rest of the world to see or hear about, or if you want something to watch later on in life, what might that be?
yeah, I have 2 though.
Okay, that's totally fine. I'd love to hear
The
both.
first is as I went rabbiting on
Yeah.
in the beginning on the importance of this resource.
Yeah,
I have to use everything I
Mhm.
am to nudge it the
Yeah.
right way,
yeah,
and it has. We when Tim was here,
mhm,
we started that nudge in 2008,
yeah,
and there was a council meeting, and there was no value in surfing.
yeah.
Who would pay to go surfing? Nobody pays to go surfing.
Exactly.
Fanning's a fragile paradise.
Yeah,
And there's already a couple dozen local surfers up there.
yeah.
I hope they're not riding my boards, but I'll find out. There might be some drama.
Oh,
But I'm going to practice Zen Buddhism.
there you go.
Okay.
Good practice.
Keep them.
Good practice.
Pretty good for an avowed atheist.
Yeah. No, yeah, but I don't accept them at all in any way, shape, or form because of what they did to the islands.
Yeah.
So they were bad to Kiribati. But that's not what we're talking about. The best way, my thinking was then the best way to control it was to put a price on it,
Okay.
and it had a dial.
Yeah.
It had a dial. You could adjust. There's demand. You turn the dial up.
Okay.
That dial is the resource. It belongs to the people.
Yeah.
We proposed that it's double $60 to council, 60 to the government, and that's a significant. And the reason why is because Fanning and the resources are owned by Kittivas.
Yeah.
So the people that are there, they own their land.
Yeah.
But the resources need this resource needs to be shared.
Yeah.
I'm here to share my life story.
That's awesome.
I have it in print. I want the focus to be for future generations.
Okay.
And that starts now. But the other story is for the thing of moving with getting government involved, empowering government.
Yeah.
And that's actually the most important thing right now. The society is a little bit different over there.
Yeah.
They're grouped into 8 villages.
Yeah.
And each village is kind of made up from either all Catholic, all Protestant, or some portion in between. And but everybody's happy and gets along.
Do you remember the Dutch girl that sailed in?
Very much so.
I do too.
Oh, yeah, no. So she was in Naked and Afraid.
Really?
And we got to chatting. And
That's hilarious.
I came up out of my quarters. I had just taken a shower, and I step up on the deck, and there's this blonde, gorgeous girl sitting in your stern there, and I went right back down and did my hair. Put on a clean shirt. Came back up, and she was entertaining the boat, wasn't she? Though.
Yep.
Yeah. And she was writing a letter home or calling home, trying to explain to her parents what she was doing. And she was at a loss for words. They just wanted her to plain cut screwing around and get home.
Yep.
Get back to school. She wasn't having anything to do with it. She was not speaking to the guy she was sailing with exactly. He didn't come over, you remember?
Mm-hmm. You know, the experience of Fanning, and with its closest, it's Hawaii's closest neighbor.
Yeah.
Absolutely, just.
Yeah. How far is it?
It's 1,208 miles.
And that's the closest island to Hawaii.
And on Facebook, I have it in inches and feet.
Really? That's hilarious.
I said that's how
Does it
much I
retain
have.
any of the cultural values? Is there anything similar between the native Hawaiians and
Absolutely.
Yeah?
172 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Way back in the day. Yeah.
No, it's almost like it's like Hawaii 100 years ago.
It's a timestamp.
There's no cars.
Yeah.
They do have some sort of internet, but and mind you, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But I think they have no concept of what YouTube is like.
Yeah.
And they know about Facebook, but it's so hard.
Yeah.
You're not able to use it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they you get around by riding bicycle.
Yeah.
There's quite a few motorbikes. There were less now. Quite, I don't know. We'll see when we get there. There's no refrigeration, no electricity.
Yeah.
You can't have cold beer or ice cream.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of generators now because Kauai has provided regular service for 10 years.
Kauai is the boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kauai.
And it's as remote as you can get.
Yeah.
There's a few other places you can go, but they require time and a passion to get there.
Yeah.
Required time and passion for me to get there.
Yeah.
And I risked going with you.
Fanning.
Yes.
Ramona said good. I think from what I've heard about Fanning and kind of the interesting thing about it, it's one of the last few kind of untouched paradises of the world, and I think your guys' conundrum is figuring out just how to touch it gently enough so that it can remain this unexploited paradise, but people can still experience it.
And that fork, it has to be done right this second.
It needs to be.
And it may, even if it's lost a little bit, they can still stop it. Empty paradise is gone.
Yeah.
You can go down. There's still a few out there, but this one is Hawaii's closest neighbor.
Yeah.
It faces North America. It's like being down there in the Ala Moana, Koala Basin area. Nice palm trees and grass and
just crazy.
It's
hard not to exploit that kind of paradise
because every single place does.
Yeah.
It starts off with plywood.
Really
it starts off with we were part of it.
Yep.
To find yourself in a position where you can nudge it. so that it benefits
Yeah.
the people to be able to see further down the
Yeah.
line. So
We're all in a very unique positions.
Yeah.
It's kind of the beginning of that.
I had those words in 93 or 94, and that was written up in the Surfer's Journal.
Yeah.
And you know, the vision evolves along the way.
It sure
But
does.
it's part of it is from being up here in Hawaii in the 70s and
Yeah.
being affected by Hawaiians around us. There were water rights issues and,
Yeah.
and what had become to them. You know,
Yeah.
they got unintentionally sold out by their ancestors.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So where it should be a gold mine for them, and it's not. We need to go.
okay. Hey, Chuck. It was very nice meeting you. I hope we can do this journey together because it's gonna be a
We
great
have
experience.
to talk more about how we're gonna interact.
We will. We're gonna figure that all out and kind of as we go.
I'm totally open.
You've got to get on that plane, dude. And then you have to get over to Fanning.